Now, let's take you to Coconut Grove Regency Hotel. We told you earlier that the Peasant Farmers Association, they are engaging political parties on their plan to transform the agri sector and make it better. Let's listen in.
Some politicians have sent us. Meanwhile, that is not the case. We have been friends for too long. We have worked with all of you. We went to an office. They told us that, oh, you are coming here just to play politics. Just because we are coming to say that, no, when we took the decision, that was not what we said. So today we are following up to see that you do what you promised to do. Then we will become an enemy. So we are pleading that the past is gone. Next time, don't do that. We are not coming there to harm you. We are not coming there. We are coming to ask for you to account to us what you promised us. Now, 2020, I remember clearly, because what is in my heart brought me is the same thing that brought me today. We spoke about combined harvesters, because I'm a rice producer. And you promised that, oh, you make it available, affordable prices for farmers, reduce the cost of importations, so that we'll be able to get it. In fact, last week, I suffered, even when I got a combined harvester to harvest my rice, I sold it at a wrong, price, because I have to give 6 bags, and that's 1 bag.
So your question and who it is directed to?
It's to, for this question I'm asking is the two.
The two, which
the NDC and NPP.
Okay.
Because they all promise. So even NDC is not part, but I'm still reminding him. I'm still reminding you that you said the answer was that, oh, you will do it for us. But unfortunately, you didn't get the thing. But you are expecting something. Is that not it? Okay, no problem. Okay, so right. when opportunity comes, okay. Try. We need the combined harvesters on the field.
That is fine. Thank you very much.
That is why we are here. In fact, I have to enter into a boat to cross and go to Walwale, take a car and come here. So even if I die, I don't care, because I'm coming to do something important. That is why I'm here. Okay. So if you come in next 2028 and I'm alive, I didn't die, and I come and you still tell me that, oh, they combine harvesters, what and what, I will leave something behind with my children. In fact, I carried, this thing, during Buzia and Guademal's time, a ballot box, I carried. That was the time I started politics. So some of you, maybe, if you were there, you were in school. Because we didn't get the opportunity.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
Yes.
I'm grateful.
So now, my question is this. I'm now coming to the real question. So, 2020, we will make a decision based on what you are assuring us. But you see, there is one thing. Are you people telling us that the warehouses that you promised putting in place, others spoke about FS, is it Farmer Service Centers? Farmer Service Centers.
I think you're
I want to find out from you, the Farmer Service Center. Yeah. Who are the people who are going to manage there? Because sometimes it's not you people, but those who are there to manage it. Are you giving it to DCEs to manage? Thank you.
Okay, I'm grateful.
Because I know a DCE cannot manage.
Please, when we give you the opportunity to ask your question, because of time, kindly keep it brief for us. I hear. But let us all take a cue. Let me go to Awola, because I said Awola's hand was up. I'll come to our other female. Please get a microphone to Awola for me.
Good afternoon. We all know that water is life. Without water, we're not going to have any farming. And water is illegal mining is polluting our water bodies. Now, apart from Alan Tremantin, who in his 10-point plan has given us solutions to ending the menace of illegal mining, I didn't hear it with the others. I've looked at the manifestos. I haven't seen anything. And I'm particularly concerned because with the NDC, they said they had adopted the Eco-Conscious Citizens Manifesto, and they were also going to pause community mining. We know the devastation of small-scale mining on our water bodies, on our environment, but I didn't see it reflected in the manifesto. So my question to all the panelists, apart from, of course, the Alan Chairman Teng's party, is that what are your plans regarding illegal mining, which is causing an existential threat?
Okay.
An existential threat. And we know that 2 million peasant farmers are at risk of losing their livelihood as a consequence of illegal mining. Thank you.
Grateful to you, Awula. Quite short there. Let me come to the National Women's Organizer of the PFAG, please. Yes. You have a microphone there.
Thank you very much. I am. In fact, my question goes to all of them, but not all of them per se. Specifically, NDC, NPP, to be precise. It's like, but we are sick and tired of this up and down tricks thing. Why am I saying this? You read a lot. We've heard you here, blah, 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 and what have you. The only thing I want to know or see or maybe hear from you is about how we are going to get copies of your manifestos. And how after here, if there should be anything we can get to you guys. Because it's rather unfortunate we can just see you or come into contact with you 4 years' time. And it is rather unfortunate for we the farmers, let me be frank with you guys, we have putting measures in place not to mind you, these two strong parties again. But if I could remember, it is the independent. I am very much happy with how Chumberima's, representative presented his whole everything. But lo and behold, it's like he's summing up. He says he's going to plan with us. You see, that is what you guys were supposed to, do or maybe think. But it's rather unfortunate you plan for us, and at the end of the day, the whole thing goes back, which is rather unfortunate. So from now, like I said, we want to get copies of your manifestos. How are we going to get them? Good. And right from here also, maybe in case there is something, how are we going to come into contact with you guys? But with the presidential candidate of the Mr. Chumberima, but if I may say, we have been able, from what he's saying here, not for saying sake, and I'm not campaigning for him, for them per se. But the thing is, from what he has just said has a true reflection on what I have seen, because I have been able to meet them one-on-one in the office. We interact together for that matter, and it's like, initially they were not understanding certain things, but at the end of the day, they agreed with us. So looking at this step, meaning when they come to power, yes, they are going to help farmers. Do you get me right? So as, don't worry, okay. So as, you don't worry the mic, they are hearing me. So as after here, we want to still engage with you guys. Don't think that maybe you have come to power,
okay,
and so you will be doing your own thing altogether. So we are pleading with you guys.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
thank you very much, National Organizer. Let me take the President Wepia, and then I'll take Mr. Karawe.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mine will be on the credit for farmers. I think I heard a MPP representative mention it. Usually, because I remember during 2020, COVID-19 time, there was a package, a relief package. So this is to support farmers. This is to support this sector. The peasant farmers could not access this. Why? Issues of collateral. Even recently with the drought spell, I heard the minister talking about loans will be advanced to farmers. And again, he was mentioning that ADB and other banks will be involved. You look at the peasant farmer in the community. You go there and you are required to bring collateral, bring landed property, bring documents, vehicle documents, and all that. So what I want to hear is that when it comes to allocating such credit facility, specific needs of the peasant farmer should be catered for. Because if you put it general and you go and they are demanding all these things, at the end of the day, you see that the money or the support is going to different people. It will not come to the smallholder farmer because the requirements that they need, the documents that they need, the collateral that is demanded by the financial institutions, most of our members do not have it. So specifically, it's in there for the peasant farmer that when we go, we'll be exempted from some of these things, and of course, we'll actually have access to the credit facilities. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Mr. Edward Karawe, and then we'll come in and take answers. Yes, Mr. Karawe. No, you. I mean, when we come in the second round, we can pick you.
I'm extremely happy, and then I've learned a lot from these great men here. If you listen to Movement for Change, I enjoyed this expression, that if you cannot feed your people, you are not a sovereign state. So the question is, today, is Ghana a sovereign state?
And that's a question to all of them? Or is it a rhetorical question?
I'm also, it's not rhetorical. It's for all of us to answer, and then even those at the panel to answer. So is Ghana a sovereign state? Can we feed ourselves? Okay. These are great men, and I like their great ideas. And then when you come to George Chum Barima, that is the independent candidate, and then in Yaba, it's so exciting that they have great ideas, and they are rooting their future development on the constitution and the laws of this country. What we've seen over the period is to ignore the law, is to ignore what is in the constitution, and then they do whatever they want to do. But they are focusing on the constitution, and I just hope that they will come and do same. Now, when you come to NDC, it's also exciting to hear them say that they have a model that is for subsidy and credit facility model combined. All of them, apart from the MPP, are yet to come. So this is what they are promising. But me, I would like to start with what we are today, and whether or not we could not have changed that, and whether we must wait until we become president. I listened to my friend. He's talking about Baumia says this, but what about, is he not part of a government? What does the government do? You are talking about irrigation. And I speak passionately because the dry spell, which some of us said it is a drought. Some say it's a dry spell, could have been mitigated if the Polgo Dam was built. The Kaya people you find here, if the dam had been built, we would have had less of those Kaya here. I'm speaking like this. I am from Upper East. I got to where I am by farming at the Tono Irrigation Project. So irrigation is critical. The question I will ask again is, what is the One Village, One Dam? Where is it? Is it that the whole program is complete? Is there nothing to do about it again? Now, the final thing is, I want to ask this. Someone has already said here, you can't do agriculture without land. Where is our land today? Where is our land? There is no land for agriculture. The second thing is, where is our water? Do we have water? I hear my friend from MPP, I think maybe, talking about the Black Volta or the rest, whoever has spoken about that. Very soon, those waters will not also exist if we don't deal with the galamsey. Where is our seed situation? What are we doing about that? Okay. So, and how do we link these party manifestos to a national development agenda?
Okay.
How do we link that? And I'm asking this question because it will be very difficult to be so hard on someone who is here to come and is saying that this is what I will do, than the person who is there today. And so far, what have you done about that? So these are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's now come and take the answers. After, we'll come back to you and pick 5 more. Let's pick the answers now, and then we'll come back for the second round. Yes. So you can start. I mean, any of you, but I would like to start with you because you have a microphone. Ms. Nyaba, however. The question that was directed to you, yes.
By the fact that it is very difficult for a chief to come out and express these sentiments public. But they will tell you that, look at the minerals. These are crown colonial policy, where they confiscate mineral resources on your own land. And when it is discovered, they say the state will have to hold that in trust for the people. And then they just enact the laws in Accra. They give concessions from Accra. They just enter your traditional area and destroy everything. And the principle even in development is that these are open access resources, because you can't enter Obuasi gold mines because it's a close-ended resource. But where we have open access resources like the forest, and then the concession have to come from Accra, and then they will destroy the forest, and they will have to bear the brunt. When it happens like that, the people themselves will decide to destroy their own forest in order to benefit from that, and allow strangers to come in. That is a general principle. So you might blame the chiefs, you might blame some of the community members that they are into Galamsey, but they tell you that they are coming to destroy. And so why should we sit here and allow them to come and destroy? There was one particular chief.
So what do you intend to do?
There was one particular chief as Watreso. He said a tree fell on his land, and he decided to use communal labor. At the end of the day, they were able to get furniture for the school case. And he was arrested. That is somebody's concession. He said, but that is my own land. So you see, the challenge is that now we have given all the powers to the president, the public sector leadership. So what we are saying is that the traditional leaders themselves have customary laws for managing these forest resources. And they have been doing that over the years. So we want to revert it back to the traditional leaders and to help them enact strict laws, customary laws. And if we are going in to prospect for minerals there, it means that the community will have to sign the agreement with you. You will have to go by their customary laws. And you can't just enter in and destroy that and leave, destroy the water bodies and leave. And their hands are tied because everything has to come from Accra. So we are here saying we are incorporating the traditional sector into the private-public partnership, so that we can have private-public, because they are the owners of the land. And 80% of the lands in Ghana are two lands. So the chiefs, their hands are tied. And that is the general sentiments are gathered from them. If we do revert to them, they will manage the resources sustainably.
So that's how you intend to deal with Galamsey. Okay. Yes, Nobi.
Thank you very much. I think the power of our traditional authorities is not in doubt. If you check River Ofin is not polluted upstream. It only gets polluted around Western Central region. So Barikese Dam is safe because Asantehene insists no Galamsey in this area, irrespective of the current legal regime. So I find it difficult to agree with chiefs who go by this logic. the chiefs have the power to stop what is happening to a certain extent. But if they say that because there's destruction coming, so we are allowing the local people to themselves destroy, I do not think that is right. And so what we have decided to do, and if you check the Great Transformational Plan, page 49, under constitutional reform, because it's one of the things that we want to do, that we need to reform the constitution. Point 9, it says, amend Article 2576 to establish traditional authorities as co-trustees with the president in respect of all mineral rights in Ghana. Yes, so that they now have a legal backing. Because there are some of the chiefs too who get bullied by political appointees. The chiefs who are not as strong or whose territorial mandate is not as strong as the Santihene get bullied. But when we are able to give them legal backing constitutionally, where they are co-trustees to the president, so that you cannot sit in Accra and just issue the license for the person, they are there and they are just showed that, I have license to do this. Able to be more, those who now are oriented to, but this illegal money thing is at the very heart of our survival. But on the credit finance, Mr. President, so what we have is what? Differentiated credit regime. So that if in a normal banking sector, you need to provide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before you can get access to funding. What we are saying that for farmers, because of the nature of it, it shouldn't be so. So they have a different regime that makes it easy for them to get access to the funds. But importantly, at single digits credit. When my brother from the NDC is talking, you see that there are a lot of the initiatives he's talking about is still government-centered, government-run, government-driven. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked in at least the 32 years of the fourth Republican democracy. It will not work. Take your hands off it, create a room, let the private sector manage it, and we'll see it thrive. Then we can feed ourselves. Thank you.
All right, grateful to you. Courage will be there. Mr. Edim, please.
Thank you very much. Let me start by senior, you will live long. Oh. Yes, you will live long. You will live long to see the progress. That's right. You will live long to see the progress of your rice farming. And I know government made effort to get combined harvester. Maybe not too much enough to your end, but we'll draw the attention and get back to you. But it's very important. And the reason why Dr. Baumia believes strongly that we need to cede 3% of some government expenditures on roads and whatever to the private sector and save 30 billion for such investment, so that at least the private sector can also have control a little to invest in it. And it is very key. So we plead with you. We will definitely get there. For the water illegal mining, Mami, in our manifesto, you see a lot of Dr. Baumia's vision at page 196. A lot, and how we think that people should not be allowed to do matra makwe, and as a result destroy the land to a point where he realized that he won't get any go. Then finally he drift into another place to go and do that. So the Ghana Geological Survey Authority resource, they have the data. Then the lancing small scale will be allocated, and when you have been allocated, it's an integrated one. You know, we have stool lands.
Mr. Lim, sorry, I don't cut you, but the people watching online wants to hear you well.
Okay,
so
sorry, I have little code. I have little code. So you have, I said Dr. Baumia is saying that in order to cut down government expenditures on certain infrastructures that government have to pursue all along, we will seed those infrastructure development for the private sector, and about 3% of GDP will rake in 30 billion to start with, and such investment can go into agric directly, so that at least we can do those investments. And I was saying that if you read from page 196 of the manifesto, which of course, leader, I will try and get a number of copies for you so you can give to your members. you will see how Dr. Bawumia want to avoid people indiscriminately. Just the person may have license, all right, well, license that is legally given out, but he's doing matter of mining. So he's mining and going all over. Before he gets to where he could locate gold, there's no gold even in that place. So the Geological Survey Authority are supposed to locate, and location will be linked with, because we have stool lands, we have family lands, we have individual lands, so that the landowner himself also is factored in, and then whatever is his stake or motivation in it, it will be guided. Okay. Let me also say that, look, we have one of the best mining and minerals acts. In fact, if you compare in Africa, we are the only one that is a bit closer to us is that of Kenya. Okay, but it's a matter of all of us implementing the content. And I will plead with the nation that for Galamsey issues, I believe it should not be politics. It should be for God and country. Why am I saying so? Mampohini at Asante, on his own gay border, he won't allow any illegal mining in his community. And it is like that. So if all of us don't look at it for God and country, because you know, you've seen some videos, whilst government is trying to crack down on, when it gets to election time, others also go behind and tell people that, don't mind, you give us the vote, and then after voting for, I will allow you to do Galamsey. Don't worry. You see, so we should take it off the political, you've seen all the videos around. You take it off there and let it look like it is for God and country principle. And okay, all of us can really solve it. Now, when I come, I say the manifesto will give it out as well. Now, the credit, very important. And you see, the reason why government made GESA a limited liability non-bank is to escalate credit risk guarantee. The moment that comes in, collateral doesn't become an issue. Collateral doesn't become an issue because already what is making agric more riskier, and it is demanding collateral from the one who is seeking for credit, is the risk. So if GESEL guarantee you that credit risk guarantee, you don't need any collateral. And the association, Peasant, your association is going to be the anchor. There's going to be a close link with you to ensure that your farmer, as you said, at times the resources, but when you lead your farmers and it is done based on whatever is going, and we are redirecting development bank, and I tell you with this, a lot of banks will come in. And I said, when we made GESEL this opportunity, GESEL has invested 1.2 billion in 136 agribusinesses with 35 lending and financial institutions. And so this is one approach to make sure that you have it at less interest rate competitively, so that you can invest. Apart from this one, it becomes very, very difficult. And we also continue to say that you cannot take out the private sector. That is why Dr. Bawumia is fighting for this approach, that the private sector must come in. And we said that people were allocating based on political grounds. Is that not so? So the moment you become too much of state, as our colleagues are proposing, too much of state, and we are all politicians, and we've all come to power before. I don't think this is the first time that you are mentioning that some incentive came for Ghanaians that politicians took advantage. Is that the first time? Yes. That is why we are veering away. But while veering away, we make sure that we said that the private person must also make returns. Okay. But you must motivate the private person to make reasonable returns so that the farmer will also make return. And that is the business-centered vision for the farmer of Dr. Bawumia. So we move away a little so that for the private man, can you go and tell the private man that take combined harvester for MPP polling station executive or NDC executive? There will be no big control, but you should look at it. It's going to be the same thing if we allow that to happen. That state alone. And we are saying that we'll free finance and then make sure private sector play more interest as well. Senior, when you drew the phase 2, you were part of the team that drew the phase 2. You saw how the phase 2 has picked from even assessment seed availability at 2022 being the baseline, and then you were escalated up to 2028. You were part. You saw all the data and the statistics in the phase 2, which I also have here. And at the appropriate time, maybe we'll get the copies also for your members.
Right. Okay.
Look at. So security. Yesterday I was at Joy TV with him, and Joy TV came up global statistical food security index. Look, my brothers and sisters, I keep saying that don't let us allow ourselves to be played down. You've done a lot of job. Let's pat ourselves shoulders. We are a sovereign country, and you have brought us a level. When they were in power, because of the statistics, that's why I'm saying so. Food security index was 44. We escalated it to 64, and now because 54. So there's an improvement of food security as a result of your work. And for me, we should pat shoulders than running this country as if there's nothing being done. When they were in power, they also did something. I will never negate them zero as if Ghanaians are not better. But you have done a lot of good job, and we must pat your shoulders.
Okay.
But we need more work to do, more improvement to move you up.
Okay.
This is food security index global figure that you have helped move from 44 to 64, and now we are 8 or so, which shows that we can still go up and provide more food security.
All right.
For one village, one dam, I know that we did more than 100 that were completed. There are about 20 of them that are also going through. Now, we wanted to be transparent, so we had the tracker. Okay, we have the tracker. Leader, I beg you can get all your members to go onto the tracker. The tracker was supposed to be very transparent and open, so that you can also see it. And when you see and you think that it is not there, you can also challenge.
Mr. Nim, but these are farmers coming from some of the areas where you have them.
Saying that. I'm saying the same thing with you. That we did the tracker and it was transparent. So you can also go look at the tracker and the towns that those dams were made. You can verify yourself. That is all that I'm saying. That we didn't hide anything. We brought out what we think we have done, and for you to verify. So the verifiable means is there. We also admit.
Okay.
Let me also admit.
Okay.
Let me also admit that yes, there are some that have challenges. That one we admit. Recently, it is the same sum that the president stock those catfish and tilapia. Okay, about 3 months ago, the president did stocking of some of them. So I believe that yes, we are challenged with some.
Okay.
But we are not also saying that nothing was done about any. So you can still check about that. Seed situation. Look, he spoke about tomatoes. Okay, as we speak now, our Ghanaian research and seed company have been able to come out with 5 varieties of tomatoes. Okay, you developed the phase 2. You saw all those things there. The problem we have with tomato is the agronomical protocol and then it's the technological approach, which we need to do more and escape it. That's why we are adding it to the enclave. I said in one of the enclave, at least we earmarking some 700 hectares for tomato and the Akumadan areas and all those tomatoes. So we'll also get there. Manifesto to, there's something I wrote here about
if you remember, I'm sure in the questioning.
Manifesto to link national agenda, which I think it is good, so that at the end of the day, there should be some skeletal agenda for the nation. in terms of agriculture and any other areas that I think that we shouldn't politicize, education and others, so that whoever comes, your manifesto will only add fresh.
Thank you very much.
But the skeletal, that
Thank
is
you,
the
Mr. Nim.
national approach.
There are a lot more questions we need to go for, so please, let's be mindful. Yeah, Dr. Boama.
So, am I allowed to mount the podium to speak, please? Am I allowed?
You have to sit here. And then you can stand up on the podium for us.
Okay, so I can stand. Okay, thank you. Oh, I thought it was restricted to only the MP.
No, you can
okay, I want
here.
to stand here. I want to stand here. Thank you very much.
If you stand there like that, it means that first defeating the purpose here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, then
so
I have to sit down.
Stand
oh, because he stood up, I thought it's allowed
to
stand.
Yeah, you can stand on the podium. It's fine.
Oh, I mean, I can. Yeah, I can sit down. Don't worry, I can sit down. When I sit down, I even talk more longer. Okay. So first of all, let me deal with some few issues, and I'll go right to all the questions. I heard of some delivery tracker. As we speak, there is no tracker because nothing is working. You have your phones, you can type whether you see some tracker. There is no tracker, it doesn't exist, and that is a fact. Then secondly, right here in front of me, I just checked our global hunger index. Unfortunately, Ghana, our score is 13.9. And all over the world, we are performing exceedingly low. In fact, we have almost 36.4% of our population who are just hungry, food insecure. They don't get food. And you see, the thing about food security measurements is that, I said that earlier, you are talking about whether the food is affordable and people can buy the food, whether the food is even available and they can get the food, whether even if it's available, they can access the food. And you are also talking about the quality of the food, whether it is nutritious enough and they are doing well. And in all this course, including others that I have not mentioned, Ghana performs very low on that score. You can't pat yourself at this time when food is exceedingly expensive. Food inflation is 22.6, the highest in over 10 years. In fact, last year it went to 61, the highest in 4 decades. And you say we should pat ourselves. It's not because the farmers are not working. The farmers are willing to work. Indeed, who motivates the farmer in the village to farm? They farm because it's their livelihood, and they would farm anyway. But the crisis they are going through makes them farm less. And so that is why we don't have the food. And that is why the hunger index, we are performing very poor. And so let's not delude ourselves that, oh, we are doing well. We are not doing well. And we can do so much better. Looking at our potential, Ghana can feed the entire Africa if we look at the arable land that we have, if indeed we are investing, even leaving it at the smallholder level. If we are making it convenient enough for smallholder farmers to produce, we can feed Africa. And so let's not be too content with this kind of bizarre performance in the agriculture sector and say, oh, we have done very well, we should clap for ourselves. No, we can't clap for ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Having said that, my brother was talking about Gesa Limited and all that. Maybe some of us, the Gesa sounds like some story. Do you know what the Gesa is? Gesa was not created by the MPP. Gesa was created by the NDs. In actual fact, Gesa is just a fund at the Bank of Ghana that offers support, risk support, to banks that offer agro credit. So, for example, ADB that gives agro credit. Gesa will say, okay, I am giving you 500,000 Ghana cedi, so that if the loans that you give to the farmers fail and they are not able to pay, you use the 500 cedis to mitigate your losses. That's what Gesa is about. So Gesa Limited creating and all this investment is neither here nor there. The Gesa has been performing this and supporting the banks time without number. But the challenge is that now the banks themselves do not even give the loan to the people because they are under-resourced. Look, there is no single bank in Ghana that looks at agro credit right now. Even ADB, when you look at their loan portfolio. In fact, agriculture does not constitute even 5% of ADB's loan portfolio in Ghana. But ADB was created for agro investment. The Ghana Exim, which was EDIF and was supporting agriculture under John Mahama, and we moved it to Ghana Exim with the sole purpose of focusing and investing and offering huge agriculture credit to large scale and even medium scale and small scale farmers, has now been changed to Development Bank. And you know what the Development Bank does? And I'm sure you recall some of them. The Development Bank would give money to artists to hold musical shows and musical concerts to entertain people. When agriculture people need money. You remember there was one instance when they paid 1 million Ghana cedi to an artist to go and perform at a musical concert. And that is how far we have come. The Development Bank sole purpose is to be able to invest in agribusiness and most importantly grow the rural finance schemes. And so if you recall, when we were in power under Ghana Exim Bank, we were supporting, in fact, Ghana Exim was supporting most of the microcredit and microfinance institutions which were collapsed because they were providing agro credit for farmers in rural areas. Now that is no more. The financing for Development Bank, go and look at their books. Most of the financing they give is for people who are importing items into the country. And so they give the financing to importers. They bring even non-food items into the country and non-agro implements into the country. And so those are things that we must look at. And we must be fair to the facts. What we are saying with agro credit is that the agro credit is just a microcosm of a broader rural finance system which has collapsed completely. Now there is no rural finance system at all. The rural finance system was made up of these basic small microfinance institutions that were giving 1,000 Ghana, 5,000 Ghana, 10,000 Ghana to farmers. Now it's non-existent. So what President Mahama is saying is that because farmers do not have access to this agro credit, now let government make that provision with all the resources that we have at the Development Bank and all those investments that we want to make. Look, this government has spent so much on agro inputs. They've spent 3 billion on planting for food and jobs, if you want. Or is it 2.5 billion? 2.1 billion. Their total budget was 3 billion. 2.1 billion on planting for food and jobs. And they used all this to buy agro inputs. Now let's ask ourselves, how, you are farmers, how did these agro inputs impact your farming? Did you get some? Did you have access to it? Was it available to you? It was not available to you. And so what President Mahama is saying that this 2.1 million investment, if indeed it is going directly to smallholder farmers, we will get more returns. And so let's do it this way. Let's buy the items. Let's not give it to any individual who is a family member or some politician to go and invest in his business, buy the items, come and sell it at any price and just go away. But let's buy the items, know the prices of the items, calculate our subsidy that we want to put on. So if we get the items for 50 cedis on the market and we are providing a subsidy of 20 cedis, then we know that at the Farmer Service Center, you have a guaranteed price of 30 cedis. So that guaranteed price, when you go and you have the money, you buy it at 30 cedis. When you don't have the money, you credit it. Then you go and farm. When you farm, at the end of the season, you have harvested, then you come and pay. This is all that we are talking about. We are actually not even taking the private sector out. Because why? Will the government go to Ukraine or go to Europe and go and buy the things directly, unless maybe it's a concessional arrangement? But the private sector would be a partner to bring all these mechanization items in, the agro chemicals in, the fertilizer in. So no private sector is being taken out. The private sector is going to keenly participate in this. But all that we are saying is that we are giving you a subsidy that will benefit you. A subsidy that you can access. Every farmer can access, whether you are NDC or MPP. This Farmer Services Center will not operate as if Moses Enim comes, he is MPP, so we will not give him the items and he will not get it on credit. It is non-discriminatory. So irrespective of your background, where you are coming from, you go to the Farmer Services Center, you should be able to benefit from the subsidy in the first place. Then again, you should be able to benefit from the credit arrangement. And so the burden of agro credit that has been the headache of all farmers now has been taken off.
Okay.
Being handled by the Farmer Services Center.
Okay.
And that's all we are saying. We think this is a brilliant way and more effective way of solving the problem, rather than what our friends are doing under the Planting for Food and Jobs.
Okay.
And so let me attempt, please, don't do okay. Allow me to explain. The issues are many.
Yes,
and I have to even talk about Galamsey. So the way you are started the okay too early. That's why I wanted to stand there. So that when you say okay, I will not hear you. Okay. So now let's quickly move to other segments of the discussion. Galamsey. We have been very loud on Galamsey from 2017. When our friends took over government, that was when Galamsey took a different turn, where you have government officials, ministers, using state resources and state apparatus to participate in illegal mining. Where is Professor Frimpong Boateng? I'm sure you all read his report and what he said about small-scale mining. He said the party in Yesika, so because party in Yesika, there was indiscriminate mining. And government officials have been fingered. Even Anas had fingered government officials in the office of the president, and yet they stayed in their office. They were not sacked. When Frimpong Boateng started talking about Galamsey in this country, that government officials and MPP party is heavily involved, he was removed. And he has become an outcast in his own party. Why? Table manners. He should have kept quiet. You don't talk whilst eating. And he has spoken. So he's become an outcast. And so that is the main gravamen of the issue. You have a government that will go to parliament and amend a section of our law to allow mining, ostensibly illegal mining in forest areas. Who would even do that? When there is a law that is restricting mining in the forest areas, the government itself, that is supposed to fight crime, that is supposed to protect our forest, will now go to parliament and amend the law to allow people into go and mine. President Mahmoud said that law be one of the first laws to be abolished that allowed that prospecting and mining forest areas. And he has made that point very loud. Then secondly, I agree slightly with my brother from the Independent Party and my brother Comrade Nobi, who ostensibly picked all these ideas from us, because until recently Comrade Nobi and the MPP were all doing the Galamsey together until last year when they lost the primaries, and now they have all of a sudden they have acquired all the brilliant Galamsey ideas. But we have spoken about this Galamsey solution from one. That look, if you really want to deal with the issue of illegal mining, it is mostly because the individuals who are supposed to mine do not get the license to mine. Now, you need to pay about 2 million Ghana cedi to get a small-scale mining license in Ghana. That is the actual cost that you pay. Even the bribe that you pay before you get that mining license approved is even more than the amount you pay for the license itself. You pay almost 3 million bribe. So before you get a license, you have paid 5 million. And that takes you about a year or two to get the license.
Well, because I'm not stopping you, but Awola's question was about.
Don't worry, don't worry. Okay, I'm dealing with Galamsey. Don't rush the food.
No, I'm not. But she has a specific question.
So no, he said he didn't hear anything about the NDC's plan. So that's what I'm giving.
Okay. And then again,
because I didn't have time to talk about Galamsey. Okay. So I'm trying to explain our position on Galamsey and how to deal with it.
Okay.
And so we have said that to avoid all these rent seekers and Goro boys who are in the licensing regime, preventing people from having licenses to mine properly and be regulated, the Minerals Commission would be decentralized in the mining communities so that they would have an office, they would have an arrangement and a regulatory regime that is localized so that it will make it easy for locals in the communities to get the license. And so just as he said, if the chiefs and the people in the community are themselves getting the opportunity to mine, you will not have illegal mining, because then you are licensing them and regulating them. And look, if you look at the water bodies scattered across the country and where they are destroying the water bodies, you would realize that mostly it is because there's nobody there to regulate them. There are teeming unemployed people who are looking for jobs. If the Minerals Commission decide that they are going to decentralize and now pick field monitors and regulators who are going to supervise the miners who have been licensed and they have been taught how to mine, responsibly, you would be able to prevent this illegal mining that is spoiling the water bodies. And so these are many, these are a few of the many approaches we can use to fight illegal mining. And we have said that we are going to ban mining in water bodies or areas that has water bodies. We have made this point, time without number.
She asked whether you're going to ban community mining. She asked the question.
But why? Community mining must be banned. But what is even community mining? Community mining is an introduction from our friends, a way of getting party people to have access to mining. What we are saying is that you can't ban small-scale mining because the gold must be mined. But you must ban illegal mining. And you see, let's differentiate. There is a difference between small-scale mining